Hello, I'm Scott Johnson. You can probably imagine that things could get pretty chaotic if we didn't stay organized in how we operate the Disaster Resource Center. That's why one of the most important things for you to know about is how we handle roles and responsibilities in the DRC. And we always go in without any expectation about what we might be assigned to do. We're just there to help however we can. So today, we'll hear from some of the region's top experts on managing disaster resource centers. Jennifer Masocha of Multnomah County Human Services has been working on temporary housing for diverse populations for the last 4 years. Sarah Ekman from Clackamas County Disaster Management has 12 years of experience in managing shelters and emergencies. What these experts have to share with you today will help you contribute to a smooth running DRC and be as effective as possible while you're there. So thank you for taking the time to learn some new skills before disaster strikes. Don't forget, this is part of a series all about operating disaster resource centers, and we have lots of other topics you're welcome to check out. Okay, let's hear from our experts.
Hi, I'm Sarah Ekman. Welcome to my office at the Clackamas County EOC. I'm here to help you feel as confident as possible working in the DRC by knowing your role and what to expect. First, at the Disaster Resource Center, you'll find 3 levels of staffing: leadership, general staff, and service teams. Let's break each of those down. Every DRC will have a coordinator. They're responsible for coordinating the DRC services, staffing, and guest needs. They're also the primary liaison with the Emergency Operations Center, or the EOC. So if a guest needs something that you don't have on hand, the DRC coordinator is the person that you need to talk to. In a really large DRC, there might be other managers like a dormitory or a food service manager. Training is available within Workday Learning if you're interested in participating in the leadership of the DRC. The next group of staff is a general DRC staff. That's the welcome and check-in table, bathroom attendants, food and beverage attendants, sleeping area monitors, and every other general staff support position. Many of the general staff are often floating between short tasks and having informal conversation with guests. That means that if you're going to be part of the general staff, you are actually in a position where you might be the very first person who notices a need, and that's why look, listen, and link is critical for every general staff member, no matter what you're doing. The third level of staffing is the service teams. Service teams are put together based on the needs of the guests, and they're set up to give guests uninterrupted services, anything from emergency food stamp allocation to coordination with local school districts, or providing mental health and medical needs. Unlike being part of the general staff, service team members tend to be working within their day-to-day specialty and may have higher levels of credentialing, such as working with children or healthcare. These teams may be working with guests throughout their response and recovery process depending on their needs.
Hi, I'm Jen Masocha, and welcome to my office. When you arrive on site, check in with the DRC coordinator. Their name and phone number will be on your job assignment. That's a form called an ICS 204 that you receive when you sign up for your shift. You can also find it online before your shift. You might also get a copy of your job aid, which contains specific instructions for your role. Don't forget that if multiple groups are operating the DRC, such as Multnomah County and the Red Cross, there will be a coordinator for each group. So check in with the coordinator for your agency. You've probably noticed already that your assigned role might not reflect your day-to-day work, or your licensure, or even your expertise, and it might not be the role that you expected. For example, registered nurses may be fulfilling roles at the food and beverage table, or staffing a check-in table and giving general information. That way, they can fulfill a general need for the DRC, but still be passively triaging people as they come in. The fact is that having the right people around the right times is critical. So even if your expertise never ends up being directly used, having you there and available while doing less specialized work is often the best way for the DRC to leverage your skills. That's why we all need to be flexible working in the DRC, and we don't go in expecting to do our regular job, or any particular job for that matter.
Finally, all staff at the Disaster Resource Center have 2 shared responsibilities, no matter what role or task you're assigned: de-escalation and trauma-informed care. Everyone seeking services at a DRC or shelter has experienced some type of trauma. We have a segment in this video series all about trauma-informed care, and I'd highly recommend that you check that segment out if you haven't already. Then de-escalation is a method of maintaining safety by acknowledging and supporting someone's frustration while keeping them from getting even more upset or violent. Basically, this means have a conversation with them. We have lots more information for you about de-escalation in our segment on safety and security, so I hope you'll take a look at that as well.
Okay, so we've talked about all these different roles and jobs that you could be performing in a DRC. But let's not forget about your very first role is to take care of yourself. All people in a DRC, including guests and staff, have been impacted by the disaster in some way. So always make sure you're okay, then help others. All right, so that's it for today. I think the biggest takeaway from this segment is to just be flexible and to be ready to do whatever is needed in the DRC, even if that's not your real specialty. Just having you there, looking, listening, and linking is really valuable. Don't forget to check in with the coordinator when you arrive and work with them on any resource requests. And remember, we have a whole series of training all about operating a DRC, and you're welcome to check out our other topics as well. Thanks for watching.